Hey guys, how's it going? Welcome back. We have a review for you today on the Crosman 4x32 Center Point scope. So when I had my Crosman Phoenix, I say had because I got rid of it and my other nitro guns. I'm kind of just sticking with CO2 and pumpers these days, and I think I got one Springer left. But anyways, when I bought the gun, the scope was a bum scope right from the get-go. So Crosman literally had me destroy the scope for them and take pictures that, yep, it's trashed, and they sent me a new one. Saves me spending money shipping them a scope back. It's kind of like pointless, right? It's like, whatever. So I did my thing. They gave me this scope. Now, not with these mounts, of course. It came with different mounts, which were a little shorter in profile. So I had a set of mounts kicking around that are high risers, because, yeah, it's going to be going on a air rifle. I need to have some height on my scope. Now there's plenty of up and down and left and right range in this scope. Way better than even some of my other Crosman scopes that are higher end. But it is a prefixed parallax on it, which means that if you're under the parallax, so in this case 30 yards is where this one's fixed at, so if you're 30 yards and further, you can move your head all you want, the crosshairs appear to stay solid. But if you're under the parallax, which I'm at 15 yards, so half of that, you're going to see some bobbing. It's kind of a weird thing, right? So you got to make sure that when you're sighting in the gun, you get just that right position where you feel that everything's squared up and fine, start shooting, dial things in. Make sure your head goes to the precise spot every single time for the clearest possible stable picture, and you are definitely going to clear out your targets, no problem. And even going to be great for pest control as well. So, and like any scope, you know, when you set it for a certain range, when you're under that range, you start to actually gain height, and when you're going further away from your preset range, you actually drop in height. So you have to basically have a good judgment for distance, or in the case of if you're just shooting metal targets in your outdoor range or indoor range, you have to know the amount of feet that you are from that area, so you can preset it to that particular range, and away you go, and you're going to be hitting bullseyes all day. So it does work quite well, okay? Once you focus in the eyepiece for a nice perfect sight picture, that part is good and done. You use the locking ring here and you lock everything up. There is an O-ring too, which actually will help keep things tight, which is really nice. As far as the turrets go on this thing, lovely upgrade. Crosman did a wonderful job of upgrading this scope from the original that came with the Phoenix, because now we actually have turnable turrets with your fingers instead of using tools. But there is a slot there if you wanted to use a tool. Why you would, I don't know, because there's plenty of meat for you to grab for turning the thing up or down or left and right for whatever you need. So now I wouldn't recommend this scope for use on a nitro piston gun or a spring powered gun. It's not going to handle the shock, okay? And neither did the one that came with the Phoenix, and it was a nitro powered gun, which has apparently less shock than a spring-powered gun. But, hey, you could have fooled me, because either way, every time I've used a cheaper pre-fit parallax scope on any air gun, I've had nothing but trouble on Springers and nitro guns with them, okay? Unless they are specifically designed to handle a nitro power gun or an air rifle in the PAL category, so over 500 feet per second range, don't use them because they're going to be junk. Now, I'm a fan of leaper scope, and any leaper scope that you can buy will be just fine on any air gun, whether it's over or under 500 feet per second, regardless of power plant. Now, even this scope is fine on all pumpers, all CO2 guns, as well as PCP rifles, no problem. Okay, it's the spring and the nitro stuff that this scope just isn't going to handle no matter what you do. Okay, so there is no solving that issue for that. But it is a good scope once you've dialed it in, once you've learned to deal with the parallax when you're under the 30 yards, you're good to go. Scopes that have a preflex parallax generally are at 100 yards, the majority of scopes out there that don't have an adjustable optical. And those scopes are even worse for that swimmy appearance, right? Even though the crosshairs aren't moving, it does throw ocular vision to heck, and you're definitely not going to hit the broadside of a barn no matter what you do. And I've read so many things, and I've had so many people come to me with sight-in problems on their scopes, even when they are running on a CO2 pumper or PCP. You know, they're like, man, I got this scope, I paid $200 for it, blah, blah, blah. I've seen scopes that are $500, $1,000, $2,000, $3,000 scopes that are not adjustable optical. You know, they're prefix parallax. And it's like, why would you buy such garbage when an adjustable optical scope rules? Because once you've dialed in your eyepiece, once you've dialed in your range with the adjustable optical, you set up your sighting, you're good to go. I mean, you're hitting bullseyes all day long. You know, you never have to worry about what position your eye is in either when you have the adjustable optical. And if you're going under the range of what you set or over the range of what you set at, you know, it's just a matter of a few little ticks of the turrets to make sure that you're lined up. Because what happens here is the further you get away from a target that you were set on bullseye for, the more your shot drops, okay? And the closer you are, the higher it goes. Because a bullet does not travel in a straight line. Neither does a pellet or a BB. They all go up on an arc and then they lob themselves inward to the target. So this is why you'll notice that, oh, I set it for 15 yards, now I'm at, 25 yards or 20 yards, and my shot's low. Why? Well, that's part of the reason why is because it was only set at a specific range. And also the flight path is an arc, it's not a straight line. Because if it was a straight line, we'd just be able to set up a scope and that would be it, we'd be finished. But that's not the way it works, right? So, anyways, as far as where I put this scope, I think the value of it, I think it's still a little on the pricey side for having to buy one. Because you can purchase this one separately because it is slightly different than the one that comes with the Phoenix. And Crosman does have a variety of scopes that I have a number of their scopes that are all prefix parallax on them, and some of them are actually at 100 yards, and it's like nobody shoots non-PAL air guns at 100 yards. That's 300 feet. Good luck even making the target, I mean, unless you've jacked up your gun. But even a PAL-rated gun would definitely make 100 yards as long as it was well over 600 feet per second easily. Okay, you could do 100 yards. But the majority of people shooting are 15 yards, 20 yards most times. Pest control usually done anywhere between 8 yards to 15 to 20 yards away. Okay, and of course whatever after that. But it is a good scope, I will give it that, even though it's a little on the pricey side, it's still good for what it is. There are cheaper scopes out there that are better, obviously, but for what this thing is, it's actually a pretty decent scope. So I'd try and see if you could get it on sale or something, if Crosman runs a sale, or somebody who sells Crosman products and has this scope, has a sale on it for a decent enough discount, then I'd say pick it up for sure, definitely. But like I said, don't use it on a Springer nitro gun because you're just going to wreck the scope. It's not going to work right for you. It's been my experience with their scopes, so take it for what you will. But I would still rate this scope because it is accurate, it has plenty of range to it, and once you get used to that parallax, and at least it is at 30 yards, which, 177 cal, you're really pushing your luck. A non-PAL air gun, so under 500 at 30 yards. 22 caliber like the QB here has no problem even doing 40-50 yards. So I can definitely get outside of the parallax, never have an issue. Set it up for 35 or 40 yards, even at 30 yards right on. Never have a parallax issue and don't have to remember stuff. Right now I got to remember stuff because it's at 15 yards. But I'll put it at a 4 out of 5 either way. It does come with scope rings, which are not bad. They're decent. They are usable. But for going on the QB, they weren't tall enough to give me access to my loading port being this is a single shot gun. It's not a multi-shot, so I needed the extra height, and so the high riser mounts came in nice and handy, and they're also, you know, 4 screws per, so even though there's no recoil, we got perfect, good, solid lockup, so no biggie. It ain't budging at all. Anyhow, that's what I got for you guys. Stay tuned for more gun stuff. I got some ideas in my head going on about some more gun videos. We're going to do some more target shooting. Probably go through some other pellets that I probably haven't tested yet on my channel. We'll do some testing with that stuff. We'll just pick a gun and do some shooting. I'm not going to mess around with scope sights, but we're just going to see how well those pellets will actually work with said gun. And we'll try that out. But so there's some videos to look forward to in the next little bit, while we still have summer weather too. I like to get a lot of stuff done before the winter. Anyways, thanks for watching. Hope you enjoyed it. If you're not subscribed, please do so and smash the bell for notifications for when I upload new content. And hey, we'll catch you on the next one. See ya.